Coach Tarkanian, as of the taping of this show, 15 straight wins. Got to be rather satisfying for you to have a team this stature, really, that's won 15 in a row.
You know, we've just been playing them one at a time and haven't been even thinking about a streak, Ron, and it just, I think we're very fortunate to be where we are. There's so many times during the course of this year I didn't think we're playing real well, and yet we would wind up winning and winning pretty good. And you know, obviously I'm very pleased to be 18-2.
Let's go back through the season a little bit so far for the Rebels. 18-2, a big win at home. You started it off with LSU. You started it off with a bang against Shaquille O'Neal.
That was just an incredible game. I had no idea we could possibly play that well, and we beat them so good. And at the time, I said, you keep your eye on this LSU team, that they're a great team, that they may be in the Final Four. And I still believe that. In fact, I think that LSU may knock off Duke a week, I think it's a week from Sunday in Baton Rouge. But if they don't, they're still a great team. That's
going to be a very good matchup to watch. Christian Laettner against Shaquille O'Neal.
Well, it's going to boil down to whether Duke's shooting well from outside, because I think Shaquille's going to take care of the inside. But if Duke is shooting well from the outside, then Duke's going to win. But if they don't, I think LSU has a real shot at them.
A local incident, we talked about it last week regarding J.R. Ryder and his eligibility. The university appealed to the NCAA to get his eligibility restored. It has been restored. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I talked to J.R. and Ron Allen both about it. J.R. said it was no problem. It's just that the negative response that was out there, because J.R. said all he's going to do is repay himself, because he paid the $200 the first time. Anyways, his girlfriend used his money, so he's got to repay himself, so he's going to put it from one pocket to the other, so he's okay.
So that's how restitution works in this case,
so
I guess.
It didn't bother him any at all from that standpoint. The only thing is, I think it offended Ron Allen greatly, because you know, they just didn't refuse to believe his story.
What is his status with the academic department now, as far as you know?
I think he's all right. I don't know. I don't get into that. But, you know, all those decisions are made by the university, not by the coaching staff. And in our position as coaches, we have to, you know, just support what the university does. And you know, and I think you know, we're doing that. We always have done that.
How do the players react to this? There's been a lot more media at practice the last few days for you now. And there's been a lot happening around Rebel basketball, as you've seen in years past.
It's always something like this. You know, it's really hard to believe that the guy went to a jack-in-the-box and honked his horn too loud. And then he got smart with a policeman, which he shouldn't have done. And, you know, I tell all our kids, you can't win that battle. When if a policeman stops and talks to you, you got to say yes, sir, no, sir, and you know, just let it go away. You can't get smart with him, because you can't win that battle. But that's the worst thing JR did, is he got smart with a policeman and went through all this. I think he's learned a real lesson from it.
And there was a lot of talk about problems with his car, possibly. That apparently has now been cleared.
No, there was no problem with his car.
2 games and 2 home wins for the Rebels. Coach, a couple of teams that you were expected to win against in the Big West Conference, Pacific and San Jose State, came away winners both times.
Well, San Jose is really hurting, but I thought we really played good against them, even though they're hurting. We moved the ball good, and we ran good, and we held them to 20% shooting, and we held Pacific, I think, to less than 30% shooting. So both these teams were less than 30% shooting against us, and I think we're leading the nation in field goal defense again. And I'm real pleased with that.
It's that zone. That zone's doing the job.
The zone has done it, because we have a hard time guarding people man-to-man, but the zone has saved us.
All right, Coach, let's go ahead and take a look now at the highlights against Pacific. The game played Saturday night in the Thomas & Mack Arena. And, Coach, time is running out. Only 3 games now remaining in the Thomas & Mack Arena. 4 games as Rebel coach. You get 1 road game at Fresno State coming up later. The Rebels move the ball around real well right here. Cross-court pass, you get away with it, and goes inside to Mel Love, who kisses it off the glass for the layup. Pacific hangs tough with a layup. Fast break at the other end. Rebels bringing it back down court, and again, good ball movement as you guys swinging the ball in and out and around and find Dexter Boney.
Elmore can really pass the ball.
That helps when you got a big man that can do something like that.
I really think that's the best part of his game, is his passing.
Dedon Thomas can go inside against the big guys every once in a while, too. The Rebels with the lead at halftime. Second half highlights for you. Dexter Boney with a big steal and putting it down with a slam dunk. J.R. Ryder had an off game here, but still the Rebels were able to win in spite of that, and there's a nice layup. It's easy when you're that tall, but I guess you got to get position, and that's the tough part at times. And watch J.R. Ryder. It's good coaching right there.
That was a heck of a dunk.
That's good coaching, isn't it?
God, I didn't see that during the game. That was a heck of a dunk.
you missed that one during the game.
I didn't realize what a good dunk that was.
You were calling for a Merzian to come in the game or something like that. Final score you saw it there on the screen, 66-50. Rebs with another blowout in the Thomas & Mack. What is it up to now? I lose track sometimes. 45 in a row in the Thomas & Mack, 19 in a row overall?
I think
or is it 20?
I think it's 19 in a row overall, but I'm not sure how many
it's
in the Mack.
It's 45 in a row in the Thomas & Mack now. Had a couple of games this week, a couple of victories, and you look at the top 25 in college basketball this week. You guys were ranked 12th last week. All sorts of upsets. You guys are going to take a big-time leap in the polls when they come out next Monday. Were you shocked at what has happened in college basketball? Of the 11 teams above you, 9 of those teams lost last week.
I wasn't aware of that, really. But, you know, I think if we move into the top 10, it'd be a miracle. I'd be real pleased with that. But like I said, I don't get real excited about that. Usually I don't get excited at all about rankings, except this year we're not going to the tournament, so it means a lot more.
So that is sort of interesting this year, the fact that, yeah, not going to the tournament, but you might be going to the tournament. A development this week, those here in Las Vegas know about it, perhaps you don't, watching on the Sports Channel, a development involving the players possibly filing for legal action to get into the tournament. What's going on there? I'm
not really sure if they're going to do that or not. I really can't comment on that. I know I've already said that if they do, you know, I'm not going to go with them because I think that the penalty, the NCAA wanted the penalty on me, not on the kids, and the kids should go to the tournament. So I would sit out voluntarily.
So you wouldn't go to the postseason tournament? Tim Gergerich coach them if they were able to go?
Right.
As part of the lawsuit, they're also, if they do file, they would file against you as the coach because you were one of the guys making the deal, so to speak.
That'd be interesting.
All right. There's also been some talk around town of you rescinding your resignation at UNLV. You know,
that's really a tough topic for me because I've had people for the last 2 months trying to get me to do that. You know, in many ways I would really like to do that. In other ways I don't want to do that. I'm having a hard time with that decision. If I was aware in June all the subterfuge and everything else that they had done to us and how all these leaks and all that, the things that were damaging us was done by our own interim athletic director and his assistant and by our university council and probably by our own president, I never would have resigned. That was all, it was, you know, it's all coming out now. I read the excerpts today in the Sun on that I wasn't even aware that it was that deep, and it just turned my stomach.
You're talking about the book Shark Attack that's supposed to be out this week?
It just turned my stomach. It's hard for anyone to believe that that type of thing can happen, and you know, if someone tells you, you won't believe it, but if you read it and you hear it on tape, well, then that makes a different thing. But it's almost like a fairy tale. It's hard to believe.
First, let's talk about the game that the Rebels won this past week. One game, one victory on the road at Fresno State. Coach, your thoughts going back to Fresno for perhaps the final time?
Well, you know, Fresno is a very special place for me and for my family. You know, Lois and I both went to Fresno State. Her family still lives there. My daughter Pam was born in the Fresno Community Hospital, and I got my coaching start at San Joaquin Memorial High School in Fresno. So it's a very special place, and to go in there and win again was real nice, and see a lot of my friends and have some Armenian food was very nice.
Good Armenian food there in Fresno. All right, let's take a look at the highlights now. The Rebels against the Bulldogs of Fresno State. Fresno, not a bad team going into the game. They gave you guys a tough time in the Thomas & Mack Center. Before the game, you were honored. They gave you a nice plaque, you and Lois out there.
They had pictures of Lois and I when we were in college.
You met there, you and Lois?
Right, we met in college.
So Coach Tark returning against his alma mater. J.R. Ryder steps it up here with a nice drive down the lane and kissing it off the glass. Nice start to this game.
We played in spurts and throughout this ball game. We started good. We played so bad for 10 minutes, and then we come on and really played good again after that.
And here's part of the bad 10 minutes coming up. Bulldogs with the alley-oop backdoor play. You know that backdoor play.
2 in a row, I think they got on us.
They got one there. Then against the zone, against the 1-2-2 zone, they're able to get a shot inside, and you don't want that against that zone.
Of course not. It shouldn't have even got in there.
Then off the Everett Gray miss, they bring it down court. Here's the second alley-oop that they got.
That kid can fly.
Bulldogs take the lead 16-15, and they're going wild there in Selland Arena. But here come the Rebels back. Good pass.
Dexter keyed our comeback in the first half.
Everett Gray with a slam dunk to pass off from Dexter Boney. 26 all now. Boney with a steal and gets the layup at the other end there. Nice hustle coming up here by Dexter Boney. He goes down. Actually, H. Waldman with the hustle there gets the ball forward to Dexter Boney for the slam. J.R. Ryder from the baseline with a three-pointer, and things just started to click for you guys.
Well, we had a good run right at the start of the second half. We built it up to close to 30 points.
Watch this move coming up here by H. Waldman out of Clark High School here in Las Vegas. The fake, see ya. And he puts it down. Nice cowboy boots, Coach. You wearing cowboy boots for this game, huh?
On the road.
On the road, you wear the cowboy boots there, huh? Elmore Spencer can throw the long ball as good as any of them. To Dexter Boney, to J.R. Ryder for the layup. And the Rebels roll against Gary Colson's Fresno State Bulldogs. 84-67, unbelievable. This team now 17-0 in league play. I remember a few years back talking about going undefeated in league play, and you had mentioned how, I believe the 87, did the 87 team go undefeated in league play?
I think 87 did.
They went 18-0, and at that time you talked about how difficult it was to go undefeated in league play. Of course, last year's team also went undefeated in league play. Your national championship team in '90 didn't even go undefeated in league play. Now this team's doing it.
Well, we lost 2, and I told our team that yesterday. Our national championship team lost 2 league games on the road.
But you do have one left, of course. That's Tuesday against Utah State. Coach, let's see, it was a week ago today. We're taping this show here in Las Vegas on Sunday. It was a week ago today, Coach, that you rescinded your resignation. And now everybody's asking the question, does that mean you want to be back at UNLV as coach? Or what was the purpose of rescinding that resignation?
The rescinding the resignation was done only for one reason, and that's to get all the truth out. I just want everyone, and in fact, I thought at the time just everybody in Southern Nevada to know what had happened to Rebel basketball, but it's drawn such national attention that I think now I'd like everybody in the country to know. I didn't realize it was going to have this kind of a national impact, but you know, there was a lot of things that happened with Rebel basketball that would shock every Las Vegan, and I think it'll shock a lot of people in the country, and I just think the truth has to come out. I'm just tired of people sitting back and denying things and saying this and that, and there's so many innuendos out there that I think this is the one way of getting the truth out. I would like everyone to know who did how the program was totally dismantled, and there's no question in our minds as to who set up the point shaving rumor, which was the most damaging thing ever. There's absolutely no question in our mind about that. And I just want to get everything out in the open. I want to clear the air. And whether I coach or not is not important at all. That's not important to me at all. I've had a great career, and there's a lot of things that I can do, but I want the truth out. When the truth comes out, I'll feel very good about everything.